Cinco De Drink-o.
I think it's Cinco de Mayo.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay. Hola, and welcome back, everybody, to the Gin and Thomas podcast. I am your host, Thomas, and you know what we do here on the show. Every week, we are joined by a very special guest. This week, we have a volcanologist local to Mexico, and you are actually currently studying the Tequila volcano. Is that correct?
Right.
From what I understand, it's also surrounded by a field of blue agaves. How would you rate your commute to and from work, having to trek through a spiky wasteland? Not wasteland, but spiky terrain.
5 blue agaves.
5 blue agaves. Not too bad, not too good. But all right, everybody. So this is our Cinco de Drink-o, Cinco de Mayo episode, which is tomorrow. Today, day of release, is the eve of such a great holiday. And, you know, I don't really know too much about how we're actually going to get into this a little bit, but I don't know too much about how big of a deal it is in Mexico. But here in America, it is a big, big drinking holiday.
Go figure.
And we're just hitting it with a staple drink, the margarita.
As one should.
As one should. So let's get the taste test going here right off the bat.
Wow.
We did it really well, I think.
That is indeed a margarita.
Ooh, gosh, that salt is good. And I want to say this.
This is a twist on a margarita because I don't think all these things are normally in here.
It's this rest. All right, so I'll go through. You can look up what a margarita is supposed to be, but I think this is just a real one and not made one with mix. But so this is from liquor.com. We have 2 ounces of Blanco tequila, a half ounce of orange liqueur. We use Contro or triple sec, right? 1 ounce of lime juice, freshly squeezed, a half ounce of agave syrup, garnished with a lime wheel. We have a lime wedge, and then we rimmed the glass with some salt and
the big delicious rock salt.
Yeah, like the big flaky salt. But speaking of salt and margaritas, I was at a Cardinals game recently when the Cardinals were playing the Diamondbacks. The day we lost, not the day we beat them.
Who's we?
The Cardinals.
Okay.
I had my Cardinals hat and jersey and everything. But the person I was there with, she got a margarita, and the salt just gave me this really bad bitter aftertaste.
Okay. Like it wasn't fresh salt.
Well, I don't know how old fresh is salt. Salt's can be thousands of years old, but it was just
if salt sits around for a while and absorbs a bunch of water, it can be kind of gross. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but I don't know. It was just bitter, and I don't know. There's a lot of things, and what's great about this margarita is this is such a good staple drink.
And a good summer drink, by the way.
There are so many variations on this, and more than just being it's a strawberry margarita. So many different kinds of ingredients. You can do mezcals or, and then different kind of agave things and different orange liqueurs and all that. So very excited that we have this drink set. So now we can go into other things. But before we even start talking about other variations, sorry, what's up?
Did you say what kind of tequila we used?
Oh, we used your El Trago.
Yeah, it's my favorite tequila nowadays. Been drinking a lot of that, actually.
Especially for the price.
Oh, yeah. And
it's a good tequila, no matter what, but for the price, I think it's a great deal.
I looked up a regular margarita recipe. Just like a easy, quote-unquote easy. 1.5 ounces of Blanco tequila, 1 ounce lime juice, and half ounce agave nectar.
Oh, okay. So not all of them have orange liqueur then.
Right.
I don't know. I like it better with it. Contro is French, and I know a lot of margarita recipes call for that, so I wonder at what stage that was introduced, but I think it's a great touch.
So the Contro, is that triple sec?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because when you said the dry curacao.
Because it's just asking for orange liqueur.
Right. Because when I think of both of those, I think orange. I didn't necessarily tie triple sec into that, but I guess those are
triple sec is orange.
I guess that's what it is. So
and then there's blue. There's I saw one. It was the Blue Wave margarita uses blue curacao, but blue curacao is good for turning things blue. But I don't really I'm not dying for the taste of it. It's not bad by any means, but if something's gonna have it has to have that orange in it, I want to go for the Contro or the dry curacao.
I do like the Contro.
I like it a lot. I think it's a little sweeter.
Remind us, it is expensive, right? Relatively speaking.
It's like a 30.
It's probably the most expensive thing in this.
Yeah, it's $35 to $40 bottle, depending on how big of a bottle you get. I don't know, but I like it. And I think this would have been good with the dry curacao as well, but the Contro is good.
But you know what? With a dry curacao, I don't like my margaritas to be dry. I like them to be moist.
Yeah, I'd like there to be some liquid in there. But I think the dry curacao, I don't know. I mean, that would be interesting to try someday. See how different it gets, yeah. Overall, our drink here, I think it has a great color. And one thing I like about this, as opposed to the margarita mixers, it's not like neon. This looks like a drink with lime juice in it.
Right. Go to the Instagram and check out the picture. It doesn't look like the neon drink mix that you see at the store.
Yeah, and the salt is good. The taste is really well balanced, I think so. Liquor.com has always come through with the good recipes, I think.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
So, I think I'm going to go with an 8 blue agaves on this one. I really like you said, dude, it's just now that the weather is warming up, like a nice 90-degree day, dude. This with one of those Bandito cigars.
I'm going to say 15 sugar skulls.
Oh, those are good. Have you ever had those? So good. Yo,
No.
You must have. You haven't? What about when you were in Mexico for Day of the Dead?
No. I thought those were just decoration.
No, candy skulls are candy. You can eat them.
Candy skull?
They're made out of sugar.
Yeah.
And then there's an arena football team, like it's the Tucson Sugar Skulls.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool mascot.
Yeah, no, it's Tucson isn't like so cool, but
no, but that's a cool mascot for any sport team.
Yeah, I agree. So, you know how we do it here? We like to go into
really quick before you get into that. Are you a lime wheel or a lime wedge kind of guy?
Lime wedge, a lot easier to squeeze in.
Okay. The lime wheel, in my opinion, looks a lot nicer.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. It's a lot easier to squeeze the lime wedge into the drink.
Yeah. Yeah. Simple as that. I mean, those dehydrated lime wheels are pretty cool. We should start making those dehydrated wheels and use those as garnishes.
I think somebody we know was looking into getting a dehydrator. So
I have a vacuum sealer.
I don't think that's the same thing.
No, it's not. I don't know. I kind of feel like we're doing a bit of a short review, but it's just kind of good.
I mean, it's a margarita.
Yeah,
what else is there
there's
to
not
say?
Really, it's the taste
also,
of a margarita.
I don't know.
It's just not this hyper sweet version of a margarita.
I don't know if we said this, but we just have it on the rocks.
Oh yeah, on the rocks, not blended. I don't like the blended.
Traditionally I do, but as of late I've kind of got more on the rocks.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, because I feel like the rocks lets the drink speaks for itself a little more. And there was an interview on the podcast Ologies, the Mixology episode. I forgot the guy's name, but they were interviewing him, and he made a really good point that if you're making a tequila drink, it should be on the rocks. But if you're doing if you want to do it blended, you should use a mezcal, because the mezcal's smokiness helps hold up the flavor a little better.
Okay.
Because tequila can kind of get washed out with the
sure.
When it's blended and starts really getting watered down.
Well, maybe that's why a lot of people order theirs blended, because then they don't have to taste their shit tequila.
Maybe. And I don't know.
Or if they don't like the taste of tequila.
But I also just don't like the super cold. You know what I mean?
Get a brain freeze, you're eating a slushy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it.
And then you're left with that super watery at the bottom.
Yeah.
But anyway. Yeah, just good.
I like it.
I like it a lot too. So, this is from tastingtable.com, and it is the origin of the margarita, which turns out to be not very straightforward.
You don't say.
It's a bit shrouded in mystery.
It's a lot of things on this.
Just like anything. It's just I invented this. No, I did. You know?
Right.
And I mean, and the first appearances are all from the 1930s, so it's not like there's a video of it.
Right.
So a little bit of the history here, again, from Tasting Table. It says, according to Vine Pair, the earliest claim someone has made to invented the margarita was in 1938 by Carlos Danny Herrera. He owned the restaurant Rancho La Gloria in Tijuana, Mexico. He claimed to have created the drink for a dancer, Marjorie King, who couldn't drink any liquor apart from tequila. Since she didn't enjoy tequila neat, Herrera threw together the ingredients used for a tequila shot, salt and lime juice, to create an early version of the margarita. Others who claim the invention dated later by as much as 10 years, but the truth is that the margarita existed before 1938 too. In fact, it may have been invented by an Irish man.
I'll fight it, man.
Yeah, it was Brandon on St. Patrick's Day is when he invented this.
Another American drinking holiday.
Yeah. So, as VinePair explains, the margarita was most likely not created by a Mexican because there wasn't really a cocktail culture in the country at the time. That's pretty interesting. In all likelihood, the drink was probably invented by an Irish man named Madden, like John Madden, in 1936. That's when the first mention of a tequila daisy, a riff on a brandy-based drink that dates back to Victorian times, came out in a newspaper story. But I'm going to get back to that in a second. But margarita means daisy in Spanish, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
And so a daisy is like, you know how like there's the sidecar, but then it's like similar to all those other ones we had?
Yep.
And so I guess like the daisy is like that. And so this is like a tequila daisy, right? So that's, I believe, where the name margarita comes from. Because every website I checked, they were like, tequila daisy.
Yeah.
So no matter what, it's like a riff on that.
Well, and then it's like, it's basically comes down to who coined the name first.
Yeah.
I'm sure they've been making it forever, but then it's like, well, this guy named it first. So that's where it came from.
So I have one more paragraph here. While traveling in Mexico during the United States Prohibition era, 1920 to 1933, the newspaper editor sought out a bar to get a drink, and that's where he met the bartender, Mr. Madden, who explained that he accidentally picked up the wrong bottle when making a daisy for a customer one day. However, Madden lucked out. The customer loved the tequila version of the drink so much that he told all of his friends, and the word soon spread around about the new cocktail. According to liquor.com, the only difference between a daisy and a margarita, or a tequila daisy as it was once known, is the use of tequila instead of brandy.
Oh, so if you just swap the liquors, then it becomes a daisy?
Yeah, so hold on. And so, where is it here? Okay, and so, what the hell? Oh, I just want the regular daisy. Okay, and so a daisy cocktail, which looks like it might be from, like, 1866. You know what I mean?
Jesus.
That's when like the original daisy, I guess, was kind of made about. But so it was 1 1/2 ounces of a base spirit, vodka, rum, gin, whiskey, brandy. It doesn't have to be brandy, but and then 1/2 ounce of lemon juice, 1/2 ounce of Cointreau, and some sparkling water.
Oh, okay.
But that might just be their riff of it. But yeah, so it's like your base, some and then it says sugar syrup. So it's it's been your base, salt, lime, something sweet in there.
Okay. I get it.
Yeah. But pretty interesting. I mean, I don't know. It's a pretty good staple for a drink. I mean, almost every cocktail, like kind of like a good example of this is like the daiquiri. It's like 2 parts liquor, 1 part sweet, 1 part sour. That's like the basis for almost any cocktail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then everything else is just like a riff on that almost. And that's what you can see in a lot of recipes. I mean, this is like 2 ounce of tequila, and then it is, and this isn't even super tequila forward even.
Right.
But a lot of times it'll be like 2 ounce tequila, 1 ounce agave syrup, 1 ounce lime juice, and that would make a pretty basic margarita.
Well, I think the reason this doesn't taste so strong is the tequila we're using is that really great agave forward tequila that kind of blends into anything really well.
Even shots of that stuff doesn't make me go like, blah.
Well, yeah, I mean, generally when people take shots of tequila, it's like tequila.
Yeah. And so, Brandon, we learned a little bit about the margarita, but how about we learn a little bit about the day itself, if that's okay with you?
Please.
Or do you want me to talk about this later?
I've been waiting for this.
Oh, okay. All right. So, Cinco de Mayo, pronounced Cinco de Mayo, is Mexican Spanish, in Mexico, is Spanish for the 5th of May, a yearly celebration held on May 5th, which commemorates the anniversary of Mexico's victory over the Second French Empire at the Battle of Puebla in 1862, led by General Ignacio Zaragoza.
So this isn't to be confused with Mexico's Independence Day?
No, that's a completely separate holiday. I think that's in September.
I think a lot of people get that confused.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people do. But it is a political holiday. It is observed by Mexicans, Mexican Americans, and people of non-Mexican heritage.
You don't say.
Yeah, the celebrations include parades, food, music, folklore, dancing, battle reenactments. Frequency, yearly. So this is from Wikipedia.com.
Thanks, Wikipedia, you son of a bitch.
The victory over the French army was a morale boost for the Mexicans. Zaragoza died months after the battle from an illness, and a larger French force ultimately defeated the Mexican army at the Second Battle of Puebla and occupied Mexico City. However, following the end of the American Civil War in 1865, the United States began loaning money and guns to Mexican liberals, pushing France and Mexican conservatives to the edge of defeat. At the opening of the French chambers in January 1866, Napoleon III announced that he would withdraw French troops from Mexico.
Hold on. We have a French liqueur in this drink?
Oh my god, blasphemy.
Is that like a tea bag on the French? Or is that like a...
It's like, not only did we kick your ass at this battle, but we took your booze and put it in our drink.
Yeah, exactly. I hope that's what it is. Otherwise, it's just like, maybe we shouldn't have put French liqueur in here.
All right, so a little more here. More popular in the United States than in Mexico, Cinco de Mayo has become associated with the celebration of Mexican-American culture. Celebrations began in California, where they've been observed annually since 1863. Cinco de Mayo generates beer sales on par with the Super Bowl.
Wow.
That's a lot. And then these
beer sales, not tequila sales. Well, beer sales.
In America, it's all that Bud Light. Or Tecate Light, maybe.
Well, maybe they should go for more of a Mexican beer, but...
Or, I mean, in America, they're probably going to buy an American beer. They're probably more concerned with getting trash. The city of Puebla marks the event with various festivals and reenactments of the battle, which is so cool. I would honestly like to get into battle reenactments, or maybe just watch, because it's like, I went to the Constitution Day Fair in Arizona.
Would you be on the south side?
No, but I went to the Constitution Day Fair in Arizona one year, and they had like these war reenactors, but it was the Revolution, America versus whatever, and I was like, man, those are some cool outfits, man. They get to shoot cannons. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Or
I mean, I would do it once and then be like, that was fun. I wouldn't like
okay.
I wouldn't be like, baby, where's my musket?
Okay. All
right, and then I don't know, there's like a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of history to the holiday, but it's mostly like, most of the stuff written here is like, in the local areas, it's a point of pride of the town and doing this and that, and it's like America, we just like getting drunk.
Yeah. Yep, that's what it is.
I mean, and so hold on here. And then it says right here, Cinco de Mayo is sometimes mistaken for Mexico's Independence Day, the most important national holiday in Mexico, which is celebrated on September 16th, commemorating the Cry of Dolores in 1810, which initiated the War of Mexican Independence from Spain. Cinco de Mayo has been referenced and featured in entertainment media and has become increasingly global celebration of Mexican culture, cuisine, and heritage. And I love Mexican stuff. When I was in Arizona, I ate a ton of Mexican food. And then out here in St. Louis on Cherokee Street has like the best Mexican food. So it'd be nice if Cinco de Mayo was a bit more of like a Mexican culture celebration. But,
Yeah, some people just go to a bar and order a Corona and call it good. Mm-hmm. Which Corona, worst Mexican beer there is.
But but I mean, I don't...
That's besides the point.
I would love to get a little more into like Mexico stuff for the Mexican Independence Day. I think that'd be a lot of fun to get into. Because there are other Mexican cocktails that I'd like to try as well. So, I don't know, pretty interesting
We have
stuff.
still yet to do a mezcal.
Yeah, exactly. And mezcal has a deep, that's like the craft beer of tequila. So I'm really, really excited to get into that.
Generally it's where the worm started from.
I believe so.
There's a really good episode on a show, and he goes back to Mexico quite a bit. I'm going to try to think of the name of the show. Oh, I think it's Feed Phil. Uh-huh. He's one of the creators of Everybody Loves Raymond, I believe.
Okay.
And I think he's a comedian also.
Yeah.
But he travels around and eats a bunch of food. And some of his favorite places like Oaxaca, Mexico, and like Mexico City. Like, those episodes are really good.
I would love to visit Mexico City. I would love to go to the Yucatan Peninsula, and then I would also love to go to Guadalajara. Those are my top 3.
Okay.
In Mexico.
Sure.
In South America, I want to go everywhere. That's my Latin American tour. Oh, wait, real quick. Danielle, would you like to give us your review of this drink? You can just come on and say you don't like it. I don't know. All right,
she has nothing other than it tastes like a margarita. Okay.
Well, all right, that's fine. But anyway, Brandon, I just kind of went into like, I didn't even go into it, but I just kind of been like, oh, Mexican culture. Let's learn more about that, and it's like.
Do you have a game? Oh, you have a game?
I have a little bit of, it's more of a quiz.
Well, shit.
Well, it's like the what tree am I thing, right?
Okay.
So, speaking of Mexican culture, I think it's kind of time we quiz ourselves on Mexican culture.
This is the Cinco de Mayo holiday special, everybody.
Yeah. So
and
it is.
With that comes a game.
All right. So Brandon, this is from Pro Profs Quizzes. How Mexican am I?
Not.
So, Brandon, question number 1.
Hit me.
I had more of a build-up. You're like, do we have a game? I was like, all right, we're just getting into it. So question number 1, who is the infamous Selena? Selena Gomez, duh.
No.
A famous Spanish dancer?
No.
A famous Mexican pop singer?
No.
Admit it. I don't know.
Oh, well, I guess it's a pop singer then.
What comes next? Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco.
Seis.
Is it S-A-S-E, S-I-E-S, S-E-I-S, or 6? The number 6. I don't know. There's 3 options for spelling.
The number 6.
The number 6?
The number 6. Don't ask me how to spell anything.
Well, that's which one do you think it is? If you had to spell 6, what would you do?
I'd write a number 6.
Okay. How many siblings do you have?
3.
What is your religion? Christian, Muslim, Catholic, atheist?
Christian. I think a lot of them are Catholic.
Pick one. An eagle, balloons, some bricks, or those Mexican cookies?
An eagle. Caca! America, bitch.
What is your favorite color? Pink, black, orange, or red?
Out of those? Black.
Okay. Choose a shape. Circle, square, rectangle, triangle.
Triangle. It's very strong.
Okay.
Strong shape.
What is your favorite Mexican dish? Mexican lasagna, burritos, enchiladas, or tacos? Or as long as it's not spicy, I'll eat it. We know someone like that, but that's not you.
I really like enchiladas.
Enchiladas. What color is your hair?
Brown.
Okay. What is the Spanish word for chicken? Chicon, el pola, pollo, chicana.
Pollo, hombre.
All right. You got 100% Mexican. I don't know about that, buddy.
Yeah, dude.
You are 100% Mexican. Be honest, you just took this quiz to see if it was accurate. Your rhythmic body demands recognition. Rock those curves, girl. I'm really surprised. I feel like you shouldn't have gotten that high.
Well, I took Spanish in high school, and
I don't know.
I enjoyed the Spanish, the Hispanic culture.
All right, I'm gonna go with Selena Gomez because I don't know who the pop singer is.
I knew it wasn't Selena Gomez.
I'm guessing with how I think to spell Sies. It's S-I-E-S, maybe. How many siblings do I have? 4. Christian. Where's the next? I clicked it. Okay, pick one. Eagle, I guess.
That's what I said.
I'm gonna go with orange as my favorite color.
You would.
Circle, square, rectangle. I'll go with square, I guess. Tacos is my favorite Mexican food. Brown hair, pollo. I also got 100% Mexican. So maybe it's just not the best quiz. I was hoping for a little bit of like a comical, like, you're the whitest guy this side of the Rio Grande. So anyway,
apparently
Brandon.
we're both 100% Mexican. You because you're from the Southwest, and me because I enjoy the culture.
Yeah, that's it. That's how we're that way. But so anyway, Brandon, Cinco de Mayo, do you have a history of this holiday, celebrating this holiday?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to lean on you for this one because I don't really go out on like the drinking holidays. So like I'll like be at home and be like, I'll have a shot of tequila.
Well, I'll tell you a story about a time I celebrated Cinco de Mayo the American way. I went to a house party. I drank before we went there. I drank half of the pre-mixed margarita down, filled the rest up with tequila, and continued on to the party. Shared that with my friend that we went with. Had a good time. Decided, well, let's go catch the last hour of the bars. Went there. I think I maybe ordered a beer.
A cerveza, perhaps?
No.
Oh.
Went and threw up in the corner of the bar. As the bouncer came up to say, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, don't worry, I was going to pee back here, but then I changed my mind." So I didn't get kicked out by saying that. It was a mess. But a good time.
As usual, not surprised by your boozing exploits. That's all you do.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just kidding. That's not all you do. But it's just like anytime it's like, do you have any, have you ever gone out drinking on this day? You're like, brother, I invented drinking on this day.
February 13th. Invented it.
Oh, yeah. So, anyway, Brandon, we just took a little break, and we got our second drink here ready to go. More tequila. Is that the difference here?
Is that your final answer?
I don't know. I feel like I'm tasting the El Trago. Maybe you cut down on something else? I don't know. You have to tell me.
Didn't change it.
Really? Why does it taste different? It's because I'm in my head. Because I'm expecting a change.
Didn't empty the shaker.
Yeah.
And also just to get into the weeds, the last one I made for the two of us.
And then we went back and added some
stuff. And then I was
stuff.
like, oh, wait, Danielle's probably going to want one as well when she gets here. So I added to that. And then this one I went into it making
I think I know why. I think I taste more tequila. I think it's actually I think the agave nectar is being a little more forward because it doesn't taste stronger boozy, but I'm getting a little more of that agave. I think that's what it is.
I think everything was measured more accurately in this.
Yeah.
Because
either way, it's still good.
When I made hers, I don't have a half-ounce measurer. Mm-hmm. So I was just like me guessing what their half is in that.
Yeah.
So
still good. I'm not changing my rating. This is still good. Just
honestly, I think this one's better.
Really?
I do.
I
think this
I'll
one's
give it
better.
an 8.1.
Like I said, this one was more accurately measured. So if you measure it properly, I think it's better.
Still so good. Still great for by the pool with the Bandito.
I give it 16 sugar skulls.
16. Wow.
It's more than
pretty
15.
Good. You know what? I'll bump it up to 8.33 repeating. Blue agaves, of course. But so anyway, while well, because we had the how Mexican are you quiz,
right?
And I was a little disappointed on how we both just kind of got like a very unfunny answer.
They were both just 100%.
Well, it'd be fine if you got 1 and then I got like 12, but
right.
We both got the same, whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, but so we were talking about that, and then I when you were telling your story earlier, I was like, oh, what about some cerveza? So I actually whipped up a secondary game while you were making our second drinks here.
Wow.
So
what you got?
We are doing Guess the Cerveza based off the Savage review.
Savage review.
Or low review, because some of these aren't that bad.
Okay.
So right here, we only have 5. I whipped it up real quick, and I didn't want us to. I didn't want it to be
too long.
Too long, and I
drawn out.
Yeah, exactly. And so anyway, and we're just gonna jump right in.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, please.
So this is all from beeradvocate.com. This is a 1.6, and this is all out of 5, so it's 1.76 out of 5. And it is by Milkshake Beer Sucks from Maryland. Clear light gold appearance with a fairly large white head and modest lacing. Cooked corn aroma that goes downhill as it warms. Not many ways to describe the bland taste. Other than that, I did not have to spit it out. Light-bodied, lively carbonated mouthfeel. Going to try it again? Doubtful.
I want to say Corona because that sounds very Corona-esque, but they didn't mention a lime. And unless they poured this themselves...
I personally would have a lime with this one.
Corona it is.
Okay, that is incorrect, unfortunately. It is Pacifico.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what? I've been very vocal about my cerveza ratings, and we will have a video on them eventually, but... Pacifico, in my opinion, is one of the few Mexican beers that I don't feel I need a lime with.
Yeah.
And that I actually enjoy.
Maybe that's why they didn't talk about having a lime. But I like a lime with it. What's interesting is, Budweiser, they make a couple of things like the Bud Light Lime, and they have Shock Top, which has orange in it.
Okay.
Then their cervezas. So their whole mindset is they don't want you adding anything to the beer. If it's meant to go with it, they will add it. So they add the orange to Shock Top, not like Blue Moon where it comes with a big slice of orange. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you go to a bar and order a Shock Top, I'm sure they do the same thing. But they add the orange to it because they're like, no, we'll add the right amount of orange. You know what I mean? So their cervezas, I don't think they add, because they have like Tecate. I don't think they add lime to it. But they're like, no, we make it a certain way. Doesn't need lime. If it needed lime, we would have put it in.
Yeah.
So that's their mentality.
Like I said, I really enjoy the Pacifico as is. But the lime is also nice as well. I'm not going to say that I wouldn't add a lime. I would, because it's also good. But
I also love the Pacifico label. I just really like it.
Oh,
yellow.
It's so cool. Yellow, and then it's like naval.
Yeah, it has that little like anchor and life preserver thing.
Yep.
All right. Question number 2, or review number 2. This is from CJ Giant from District of Columbia. This is a 2.41 out of 5. Oh, also, I don't have like the overall. I should also, next time I'll provide like the overall ratings, but like people on Beer Advocate are fucking, like every
snooty.
beer is like 66 out of 100. So anyway.
Gotcha.
God, dude, leg day. My leg is sore.
Nice shirt, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I'm wearing my Maine shirt. Not, it's like the state furthest from Mexico.
As you read a review from British Columbia.
Yeah. Well, okay, so this is really weird. It just says, can, parentheses, tasted alongside other adjunct lagers in a tasting. I don't know if they're saying it was tasted in a can, but it goes can, parentheses, tasted alongside other adjunct lagers in a tasting, and parentheses. Pale golden with a mere splash of tan and a fair head. Nose isn't much, but has a mild metallic note. Starts mildly sweet with enough other flavors to keep it from staying that way. A bare lean to something bitter or metallic or even skunky, but I can't really tell, which indicates how light the taste is. I don't know if I'm just not reading that right or if their sentence structures is all over the place.
I got it. It sounds like the Dos Equis Amber, maybe.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Sorry, Brandon. It was Corona.
Okay.
Look, I'm sure the good reviews actually tell you what it is.
No.
All right, so this is from...
it's not the game we play here.
All right, review number 3. This is from Papercut 4 from Wisconsin, 2.73 out of 5, which is above half, but, still in the red. Pours out of the can a crystal clear gold with a finger head with mild retention. Smells like grains, honey, and light malts. Taste follows the nose. Good carbonation with a little thin once that subsides. Overall, pretty decent. Pretty mild, but it's, below 3 stars.
A light Dos Equis, like the regular Dos Equis. It's going to be my guess.
Are you sure?
Nope.
Do you want to?
Nope.
Okay. It was Modelo.
Modelo tastes like piss, just like Corona does. I'm saying that right now. Enjoy roasting me in the comments. I don't give a fuck, Keisha.
All right, review number 4 by Dr. of Golf from Delaware. This is a 2.38 out of 5. Clear light copper color with a small white head. Smell was of something dank and no malt and hops. Light body with watery mouthfeel and a strange tin-like bitterness. If you get it wrong and I tell you, you'll be like, yeah.
Tecate.
That is correct, Brandon.
Yeah. Well, there we are. Got one.
Yeah. Well, because I remember the last time Tecate showed up on one of these, you were like, but Tecate sucks or something.
No, Tecate's okay. I'd rather have it over a lot of other ones.
Okay. I don't know if you even know this one.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest.
All right.
So this is 1.69. Nice. That's why I picked that one.
Of course.
By AZ Tropic. I compared this cerveza side by side with a can of Cuban Crystal, which this beer claimed was its inspiration. While the packages are almost identical in appearance, the product inside definitely is not. This beer is a very bitter cerveza, and the strong aftertaste lasts for several minutes. Not an enjoyable experience.
Dude, you said the Crystal, and I'm pretty sure I've had this beer at a resort, but I could not tell you the name. I have no guess. Tell me what it is.
Palma.
No, I haven't.
Okay, well then you got that one wrong.
Yeah, well of course, yeah. I had no guess.
You should have been like, yeah, I know that one. I'd be like, half a point.
No, it's not what I thought it was, so it's fine.
But all right. That was it. I have had Corona, Pacifico, Modelo. I've never had Tecate or Palma or Cuban Crystal.
We should get some. Well, we'll do the I'd have a cerveza at some point.
That would be pretty. You know, Brandon, you've been talking about I'd have a cerveza for years.
I know.
But speaking of your videos, Brandon, we actually had one come out to day of recording.
Yeah.
We fixed the vodka soda White Claws.
Yeah.
A little underwhelming. I mean, longtime listeners are, of course, watching the videos as they come out, so I've already seen the first one. But, I mean, I don't know. The message of that one was, like, just it's not good in the can. I said it in the video, and I think it's true. Like, the packaging does the drink itself a disservice.
Well, when you're going for RTD, ready to drink for those layman's, it's kind of hard to nail something that you would normally pour over ice.
Mm-hmm. And that's also maybe it's the difference between that and like a seltzer, but I'm not the biggest canned cocktail guy. Most of the time I'd rather just have the actual cocktail.
Yeah. In the canned cocktail space, I think those might be made for people who don't want to mix their own drinks and that are comfortable with just pouring out of a can over ice and calling it good. And that might be what White Claw was going for with these vodka sodas, where maybe that is the point, is you just pour it over ice and drink it like that. Because, spoiler alert, that's what we determined is the correct way to drink those.
Yeah, well, I mean, even at the end of the first episode, part 1, we were like, how about we just make a regular vodka soda? And we were kind of like, yeah, this is better. I mean, I don't know. It's a weird world out there. But I mean, one thing that's become increasingly popular is because I don't think I've ever really had a canned margarita, but a lot of these seltzers are coming out to be tequila based. Like I think Hornitos has one, or is Hornitos just a brand?
Hornitos is a brand of tequila, but I believe they might have a canned cocktail.
And then they have that ranch water. There's a couple places that do ranch. Maybe it's Hornitos ranch water.
Cayman. I think that's the full name is Cayman.
And then I think Topo Chico has tequila, and now even High Noon is doing tequila. And so I think
Was High Noon originally vodka?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They were like one of the first, or I don't know about the first, but they were one of the first popular vodka seltzers, and now the other ones are kind of going that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm kind of glad that tequila is having this little bit of a moment. Yeah, because I was never really the biggest tequila guy. But
me neither.
Tequila is now being used in very interesting ways. What they should be doing is doing grapefruit tequila seltzers and that's a Paloma, but those are it's a good drink for a reason. It's too bad we already did Paloma because this would have been a great Paloma episode too, but Spoons are effing good. What was that?
I love
you sent me a Snapchat earlier. It was like a 32-ounce Yeti, and you're like, a Paloma for the road, which he was not driving, everybody. But I was like, damn, that sounds good. And you're like, yeah, but it's about 50-50. Too strong for you. You just called me out.
No. I think I said thought it was going to be too strong.
Oh, I thought you were saying like it's, or maybe I just read it wrong, but I thought you were saying like
you read it wrong.
It's too strong for you. I was like, damn, okay.
No,
jerk.
You would think it would be too strong.
Oh, I thought you were saying that I would think it's too strong.
Mm-mm. No, I meant you as in the
audience. Like you'd think it's too strong, but it's great. Oh,
yeah. So you can mix your Paloma half.
No, I was like hanging out with someone. I was like, damn, dude, Brandon's like trashing me, but he's right though. No, just like the general sense of general you would think it's too strong. Anybody would think it's too strong, but then you drink it and you're like, nah, not that bad. Not that bad. But
good pregame drink.
But Brandon, we actually didn't talk about this yet, but this is actually going to launch me into a little bit of a rant.
Uh-oh.
Our ambiance today.
Yes.
You know how we are. So you are a volcanologist for the Tequila Volcano, but we're actually not at the Tequila Volcano.
Nope.
We are live. We are live on the streets of Guanajuato, Mexico. And as you can see, as we look over this balcony, just a bunch of beautiful multicolored houses, I think.
Almost favela-esque.
Yeah. You got these greens and blues and reds and pinks and purples, maroons, orange. And even...
I'd say favela-esque, but like way more pretty.
Yeah, and I think... hold on. Let's Let's actually look where in Mexico this is.
The camera's trying to focus right now, and it's fucking with me. Okay, it's good now. We got reds, we got light blues, we got oranges.
What's it called?
Guanajuato.
Okay, yeah.
Guanajuato.
Yeah, so this looks to be kind of like southern Mexico, right? Or southern to central Mexico. But even in northern Mexico, kind of closer to Arizona and the border states, like they still have a lot of these colorful houses. And I think it like contrasts really well with like the beautiful colors of the desert, because like the desert maybe looks like just sandy and dusty, but like, you know, we know the sunsets are beautiful, and there are a lot of beautiful colors in the mountains and things like that. But so in Mexico, they have all of these beautiful things, these beautiful painted houses. But out where I live in Arizona, like everyone has an HOA, and like you need to have like a tan beige house so it doesn't clash with the natural beauty of the desert. But instead, everything just looks bland and tan, right? But it's like, okay, well, in Mexico, northern Mexico, and especially in Sonora, it's the same desert, and it doesn't clash. I think it looks kind of nice. And
do you get to do terracotta roofs?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
There's like a bunch of things you can do, but like, and then they're like, oh, we want, if you're gonna have like a gravel in your front yard, it needs to be this color. And so it like really just looks like it goes from sidewalk to rock to house, and it's like all this like
same color,
beigey tan, and it is so distressing,
washed out.
And I think that HOAs are directly responsible for the collapse of Western culture.
Really?
No, but that's, you know, I'm just really mad at them.
I get it. A lot of people don't like HOAs. I mean, but there's also
like it'd be one thing.
They also do some good things.
Yeah, like if you wanted to have your HOA be like, hey, we're just making sure that
there's
nothing looks trashy.
There's not a giant Trump statue in somebody's front yard.
Yeah, but like
it messes with the aesthetic. Of that
but it just annoys me that like there are houses that are beautifully colored in the same desert.
Yeah.
I mean, even in Sedona, which is not in the Sonoran Desert, like they have like city beautification laws. Like you can't do things that clash with the natural beauty. So there's a blue McDonald's. It's right. Yeah, it's not like you have to be this boring beige McDonald's. You're blue, like either, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh my god. I'm still recovering from going up your steps earlier.
I was like, how are you out of breath from doing a podcast?
Because I talk.
I think you need to do more cardio, buddy.
I do. But anyway, I don't know. It's just really aggravating. Because it's like, I don't care if there's a blue house, or a yellow house, or an orange house, purple.
It's the desert.
Like, if it was like this, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I think it all kind of flows together.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. And then if you go out into any of those developed areas, like especially in like Chandler, Gilbert, and like West Valley, a lot of those places where it's a bunch of cookie cutter homes, they all look identical. They're all just that same beige, same Palo Verde in the front yard with your gravel. And then even gravel, I mean, like I understand, like grass isn't great for the environment, especially out there because it uses too much water. But like all that gravel, that just absorbs heat all day and then bounces it back out. When was the last time you just saw a pile of gravel in the desert?
Never.
There are plenty of desert plants and flowers. Just have like a nice little
sand
plantscape. Yeah. Sand, dirt, whatever.
Ground cover.
But I don't know.
A nice plant ground cover.
It's exhausting. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you come out here, plenty of people have like mulch and wood chip front yards. And I have a wood chip backyard. I'm going to get a wood chip front yard. But I don't know. It just irks me so much. And Mexico, I mean, there's places of Mexico that aren't beautiful. Just like with anywhere. They're beautiful, not beautiful places. But I mean, like, this is just really pretty.
Yeah. I like it. It reminds me of like Alton if it was like multicolored.
Alton,
Illinois.
I have no clue.
We'll take you there sometime, I guess.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Take it through there.
One of the most hilarious things is like hearing people talk about like growing up in these small towns. It's like, yeah, you know, me and my friends, we used to just get drunk in the middle of a cornfield and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, man, there's really nothing to do out there, is there? Like, no, that's why we drink in a cornfield. But I don't know. Do what you got to do. But I don't know. Are there any places where people are allowed to have beautiful colored houses? Or
yeah, I'm sure there is.
I don't know. I mean, at least out here, everything's just brick, you know?
Yeah.
Brick always looks nice, I think.
Well, and then the place we're located, I believe they require that at least the front fascia to be brick, because I've seen a new development where the front is brick and then the whole rest of it is siding. But it's like they require it to be front brick to match the neighborhood, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, so I don't know. That's the end of my rant. A short-lived rant, but it is a rant I have had. But where is it? Come on. All right, but Brandon, I do have a little bit of something else for us to kind of bring it back. Bringing it back a little bit. So,
one hop this time.
Tequila.
Yes.
Made from blue agaves.
Yes.
Designation of origin and all that. You have to have the blue agaves.
Yes.
But the thing is blue agaves, are they even really blue? I don't know.
Yes.
Is anything blue? Because blue is very rare in nature.
Okay. What are you saying?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I just thought I would talk a little bit about like
blueberries, the sky, the ocean.
Yeah, but blueberries are like purple.
It's subjective.
And like blue birds, it's like a purple pigment. And then like blue butterflies, it's like a refraction in their like wells, their cells.
Are you saying blue's not a color?
No, but I'm just. I'm going to talk about it a little bit because I think it's interesting. Because like blue agaves, for one, they're like kind of like they have this like powdery thing on them almost, and if you like rub it off,
it turns green.
Yeah, it's like a little more green. And there are like plenty of plants that like look kind of blue, but when you rub off that powder, it turns green, right? So this is from set.adelaide.edu.au. So it's the University of Adelaide in Australia. So it asks, why is the color blue so rare in nature? Blue is a very prominent color on Earth. This is throwing me off because they have the U in color. Blue is a very prominent color on Earth, but when it comes to nature, blue is very rare. Less than 1 in 10 plants have blue flowers, and far fewer animals are blue. So why is that? Part of the reason is there isn't really a true blue color or pigment in nature. Both plants and animals have to perform tricks of light to appear blue. And that's one of the problems is because there's like a handful of pigment colors, and there's no true blue pigment, but blue is a primary color for some reason, which like really isn't true. So for plants, blue is achieved by mixing naturally occurring pigments, very much as an artist would mix colors. The most commonly used are the red pigments called anthocyanins, whose appearance can be changed by varying acidity. These alterations, combined with reflected light, can create some spectacular results. Delphinums, plumbago, that's a word, bluebells, hydrangeas, dayflower, morning glories, and cornflowers. Although blue flowers aren't rare in plants, almost no plant has blue leaves, except a handful of plants found on the floor of tropical rainforests. The main reason for this has to do with the physics of light. Pigment appears the color of the light they don't absorb, but instead reflect. The most common plant pigment is green chlorophyll. So plants appear green because chlorophyll doesn't absorb, but rather reflects green light. We already know that, though. Those of us that went to whatever level, they teach you that color is just light being reflected.
Physics.
Yeah, but I don't know. I thought that was like, I don't know, kind of cool that blue isn't like real. Now, hold on. Let me find the other link I was looking at. I lost the thing I was looking at too that told me like what that dusty thing on the outside of them is. But like even the blue agave, it looks like a light blue, but it's more of like a teal green.
Right.
And if you like sprayed it with water and like really rubbed it, it would get green.
Right.
But this pulls me into talking a little bit about the blue agave.
Mm-hmm.
So agave tequiliana. So the
Very
botanical
nice.
name, well, I mean, it's also from like Tequila, Mexico, but
Sure.
you know, commonly known as the blue agave or agave azul or tequila agave. It is a plant that is an important economic product of Jalisco, Mexico, due to its role in the base ingredient of tequila, a popular distilled beverage. I don't know if you knew that, Brandon.
What?
But the flowers are pollinated by the greater long-nosed bat and by insects and hummingbirds, which this is what's interesting about that, though. And I'm not trying to get on my soapbox of environmentalism, right? But I hate vegans, okay? This is gonna come full circle. Don't worry. Vegans, for the most part, are fine, but don't try to act like you have this superiority over me, right?
Right.
So the way that tequila or blue agaves is made, and I think I've talked about this on an earlier episode, but I'm just gonna reiterate it here. So modern tequila plantations or blue agave plantations are used by propagating. So they get a piece of tequila, not a piece of tequila,
Agave.
a piece of agave about the size of your thumbnail, and then they like plant that, and it takes 8 years to grow into a full-sized agave, right? And so while those, generally those agaves are pollinated by the long-nosed Mexican bat, but the way they do this propagating, they don't need to be pollinated. They're just constantly cloning this very specific plant. Pollinating is good because it brings biodiversity from other plants, and that's the opposite of what they want. And so a lot of vegans are like, well, I don't eat honey because that exploits bees, but I'll use agave nectar. And so that just ramps up these agave production. But these agave plantations are destroying the habitat of that same long-nosed bat. And so it's like, okay, but these vegans are like, oh, I don't want to hurt the bees, but like I'm actively contributing to the destruction of this animal's environment, which is leading them to be killed off. But those same bats are supposed to be pollinating the plants that, I mean, for one, we don't even want pollinated, I guess. But then, I don't know, it's just weird and it's complicated, but...
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I
agree. It's very similar to the...
I mean, similar with like anything, but...
Yeah, I mean, vegans want to pretend like eating plants don't cause death to animals or insects when the monocrop agriculture definitely contributes to millions upon millions of death of insects and animals when they harvest.
Lack of food variety. And also, like, it's also... I mean, I understand that it has to be blue agave because of like the law of what tequila is, but hopefully in like mezcal making places they encourage. I mean, I don't know. Agriculture is still like industrialized. They don't really want a bunch of variants. Like, I don't know. I hope that we're still letting those bats do things. Like, I hope we're not taking away their jobs. I don't know. It just stresses me out. I love bats.
Yeah,
I'm going to come up with... There's got to be some Transylvania holiday that we can talk about bats on because they're so fucking sick, dude.
Yeah, we'll have a vampire cocktail.
There's like... It's so interesting. There's so many flowers. There's a kind of like orchid that is like especially evolved, designed, whatever, to like perfectly fit around this certain bat's face. It is so cool.
Interesting.
Oh, I forgot to say this at the start, but this is the show where we share a drink with friends.
You're right. I do have one thing to add.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this off air. I've felt like since getting back into tequila, well, I should just say getting into tequila, I never was really into it. The agave taste that I get from tequila is almost akin to like a lime accoutrement. You know what I mean?
No. Like it tastes like a lime to you, or it's like similar to a lime that's like a little extra thing?
Yeah. It's very similar. It's like a... I'm separating it out of the tequila taste, and I'm like, oh, this is more of like a fruit, you know?
Yeah. I mean, if anything, it would be a vegetable, but I hear you.
Thinking of the agave taste as more of a garnish than...
I get you. I get what you mean.
Right, like an ingredient, as opposed to like, this tastes like tequila. Well, no, it tastes like agave.
Let's make a very clear distinction. It's not you being a booze bag and just drinking so much tequila. It's just like, you know, with the Paloma is a great way to show off that thing. But like, and we've had a couple tequilas on the show now with the El Trago. Like it's kind of like the element, like that's what makes the tequilas a little different, is how agave forward is. How do they play with that taste? And so a growing appreciation. And that's the thing, I said this earlier. I wasn't a tequila guy before, but we've gone through 3 or 4 tequilas for this show. 3, I think. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm getting it now. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And then we have our madman Tinez, who's just like, fuck it. Give me a shot. Give me a shot every hour.
He was telling us about how his cousins will just drink Henny out the bottle.
What does Danielle call it? Cognac. I'm not the biggest cognac guy. I mean, it was good for our drink, but between the sheets, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It was good for that. But I mean, I've since had like a shot of it, or we had like a half shot of it for the show, and then I've tasted it a few times. And there were a couple days where maybe I had like a just like a little glass of it to sip on. It's not something I love. I've never had a Henny though. Maybe it's amazing.
I have, and I have drank it on ice, and it's comparable to like whiskey, but I don't understand doing it all the time.
I don't know.
It's not for me.
I mean, if I'm ever given the opportunity, I'd love to have a sip, but I don't know.
Someday.
But I imagine, I don't know, Tina's is very interesting to me because he seems like the guy that would be like, hell, give me some Henny, brother, line it up. But then he'd be like, I'll have a Michelob Ultra and a shot. I don't know. I feel like those are two opposite ends of like an alcohol spectrum.
Yeah, for sure. I think
because he loves Michelob Ultra, so it's like, I mean, people are allowed to like what they like, but I feel like a fairly expensive bottle of like a high class liquor and give me a normal price light beer. Maybe I'm being too judgmental.
I think tequila is on the other end of the spectrum from Hennessy. So
yeah, he loves tequila. I don't know. He's a wild guy.
It's a good time. He's a healthy man. Healthy
man. Speaking of which, this drink fairly healthy. We have agave. We have lime. We have orange, salt. It's important to get your sodium.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Nothing in it that would warrant a red flag.
No red flags here.
No red flags here.
Anyway.
There you have it, folks. A margarita, no red flags.
No red flags. That's a good way to put it. No red flags with this drink. It's just good. And like we had two. They were great.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is good.
They were kind of doubles, but...
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah. So we've had a couple margaritas, a few.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I feel good. It's a light drink. It's not one of those ones that
don't
makes
hate
you like...
myself.
Yeah, you don't feel like... At least with this one, like you don't feel heavy.
Right.
I don't feel super boozy. I'm not like, ugh. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because if I had had 4 shots of tequila, I probably would have felt like crap. But,
well,
I don't know.
We'll test
I think
it.
just like maybe just because a shot of tequila, you're just like, bah. But with this, it's like, oh, I'm sipping something good. You know?
I mean, well, like they said, you have the salt and the lime in it already.
Yeah.
So it is a shot of tequila, but it's all put together.
But then there's a few things in there to kind of lighten the load. I don't know. Yeah, it's just good. It's light. The recipe we used, I would highly recommend it.
It was good. I did like it.
Yeah, I mean, we used the Contro, which I think adds a lot of good, not like sweetnesses and sugary, but a little bit of sweet and brightness to it. And I think the dry Curacao would have just been like more of an orange, rather than like a brightening orange.
Yes.
Which I still think would have been good. But you could do the dry Curacao.
Like I said, I like my margaritas moist.
Yeah, and then you could also do... I mean, blue Curacao would have been good too. But I just feel like Contro is just a higher quality.
Yeah, I agree.
And if you watch Archer, he's a firm believer that Contro goes in a margarita.
It's probably because they overthrew the French and took their liquor.
But that is interesting. I mean, I didn't do like an insane deep dive, but I would be interested to know if like when Contro became like a staple of it, because
if it was like during the intermixing of the French and the Mexicans, or if it was just like after they drove them out, they're like, oh, they left all their Contro behind.
Like Hawaiians with Spam. They're like, oh my God, there's so much Contro. What are we going to do?
Right.
Just start putting it in everything.
Exactly.
Speaking of Spam, do you like Spam?
Never had it.
If you cut some Spam up fairly thin, throw it in a pan with some olive oil, throw that on a sandwich, dude. Don't let it be don't have it a Spam sandwich, but like make a sandwich, throw some of that sauteed Spam on it.
That chef I watch has done some Spam recipes.
It's really good.
So I'm not against it, but
it's
I haven't tried it, no.
But Spam is like that just block of gooey meat.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Right.
Cook it up.
Well, obviously.
Well, I mean,
what kind of animal just eats it straight out of the can?
Brandon, you would be surprised
like a sardine.
By the degenerates in this country eating Spam.
You're right. You got me.
I've seen someone just open it up and just put a spoon.
Like ice cream.
Yeah, exactly. But, I don't know. Kids are weird because I saw a kid doing it. When kids are like... When I was a kid, I loved Vienna sausages. I just crack them open and eat them.
I've ate a cold hot dog in my life. Yeah.
Well, yeah, so maybe it's just like that,
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Spam is good. You heard it here first. But anyway, Brandon...
You're not going to end the episode with Spam is good.
Oh, okay. Well, what else should I... What should I end it with then?
Tequila is good.
Tequila is good.
But I forgot.
You know what, though? Let's rate this. Out of our 3 tequilas, how would you rank those so far? Because we had the La Gritona, the Loud Women. Remember that one?
Yes.
We used for the Frostbites.
Yes.
That seems like so long ago.
It seems like so long ago.
And then we've had that. I don't remember what it's called, Ocho or something, but that was like the expensive tequila. And then this one.
Well, I mean, I love this one.
Yeah.
Especially for the price.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite, I guess.
Yeah.
The Loud Women one was pretty good, too.
Yeah.
I think that was a little more expensive, and it came in a really cool bottle.
Yeah.
But
that was like $40.
Oh, so it's like double the price.
And then the last one was more expensive than that, I think.
Well, okay. Well, for me, it goes from least expensive to most expensive.
I'm going to agree. So our so far tequila ratings is El Trago, La Grotona, and Ocho Agave. I don't remember that name. I mean, I went through it. Not alone.
Sure.
Don't worry. Oh, but speaking of which, we actually kind of talked about this the other day. So I had mentioned, like, I'm really trying to cut back on the drinking. Like, not drinking alone. I don't want to be drinking alone. I'm trying to only drink during the weekends. You know what I mean? So I've been like, good being good on cutting back on my drinking.
Yeah.
I haven't been perfect. But then we were kind of talking, and you're kind of in a similar boat where it's just like, it's fine to not be boozing.
I'm going to try to pursue that to see how far that goes. But as of now, that's the way I'm sitting.
Well, that's good. In this show, it is a reviewing alcohol show, but we say drink responsibly. I feel like I'm always going to advocate for drinking less.
Yeah, of course.
I'm never going to tell someone to drink more, But yeah, no, I don't know. It's like good to cut back on that. I've done it myself, especially because I'm like really trying to do this like fitness journey thing, which you've also been getting back in the gym. Brandon's just being healthier.
You got it.
Which we hope he's staying on that train. But I've been working out and Brandon's been getting back in the gym, and we're just trying to cut back on this boozing, man, and it feels good.
Feels good.
I like our show. I like reviewing the drinks and doing the fun cocktails, but it's kind of fun that drinking is like this treat. And I think that's how it should be.
It's a treat.
Because I know people, they're like, well, I get home and I fucking drink my Bud Lights morning till night and all that.
Till I pass out and I get up and do it again.
Yeah, but now with these, I'm like, I'm just looking forward to it. I'm like, let me wet my beak a little bit with this margarita. You know what I mean? So...
it's a tool, everybody.
It's a tool, exactly. And so...
But don't abuse the tool.
But if you're going to be drinking, do it to have fun. Do it to enjoy the people you're with. Do it to enjoy the drink. Don't just be drinking to be drunk by yourself in a dark room.
Right.
I've been there. Not the best way to do it.
It's not a good time.
So, I don't know. That's it. Tequila is good. So, you know how we close it out here, everybody. Well, first of all, before we even close it out, Brandon, where can they find you?
At Brandon Churchill on YouTube, Brandon_Churchill_95 on Instagram, Brandon Churchill without the U and Churchill on Twitter, and find me in the streets.
In between the sheets.
In the streets.
Streets only, people. As for me, you can find me on Instagram at CaptCoolKid. That is CAPT Cool Kid, as well as the Bad Boy of Botany on Instagram. As for the show, you can find us on Instagram at Gin and Thomas Podcast. On YouTube and Twitter, we are Gin and Thomas Pod. Follow the Instagram. That's the best way until I really get into this tweeting thing. The best way to stay up to date is on the Instagram because I'm posting stuff to the stories. Hey, give us questions. I'll be posting what are we doing here? You know what I mean?
The drinks are on there as well.
Drinks are posted exactly. The drink picture and recipes are posted to the thing. And stay tuned to our YouTube channel because we have one video. It's our Gin and Thomas makes a gin and tonic video. But we're going to kind of be making these how-tos on the drinks. We're just going to say, here's how you make the drink. This is what we think of it. Tune into the pod for the full thing. So
yeah,
we're going to be going back to old drinks. We're going to be doing our new drinks. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then if you like what we do here, like Brandon said, find them on YouTube. We review beer and seltzers and similar things. And
there's all kinds of stuff on the YouTube channel.
Yeah. With me, without me. So if you like Brandon, that's where you can find him ultimately. I don't know. I think that's it for that. So, also, we have an email, ginandthomaspod@gmail.com. So if you have any questions about anything, what do you think about this drink? Whatever, questions for the show. But I actually got a DM on Instagram asking, what about margaritas? And so it's actually perfect timing because here's the recipe. You know what I mean?
Here's the perfect margarita.
So yeah, and if you have drink ideas, send them to me.
Sure.
Because I search for my own drinks, but if you guys love a drink and would like it on the show, let us know.
For sure.
Email, Twitter, anything. DMs. Send a letter in the mail. I don't have a PO, but just put it in the mail. They'll find me. Shoot, what was I just about to say to you? God damn it. I was about to say something, dude.
That was the best guest you ever had?
Yes, obviously. Out of all of them, you're the best one. But speaking of which, like, we're actually coming up on 6 months.
Yes.
We have like 2 episodes after this.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Insane.
What was my say? Oh, yeah, I remember what our 6-month one was going to be. I think. It's a whole thing. Stay tuned. Because we're getting ready for this to be a show.
It is a show.
I mean, we're getting ready to continue the show. But so anyway, everybody, that's that. You know how I like to close it out here. Please drink responsibly. Don't drink alone. Share a drink with us. It's the show where we share a drink with friends, you know? So I consider everyone listening a friend, and I hope you consider us a friend, you know? So please drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive.
Don't drink and con a boat.
I had to hold in a cough for that one. And I don't know, Brandon, if it's okay with you, I think that's it.
Don't drink and scoot.
Don't drink and scoot. I forget about that one. Anyway, everybody, be safe, be kind, and good night.